Hello guys. Something is just kind of really bothering me right now. I was talking to a friend this morning, and the conversation kind of went to muscular women. She was like, well, why they don't have to, they should just love who they are. They don't need to, get big and, muscular. They should just love who they are. And, I feel like she doesn't really understand because I've been, people play around like my friend Josh, he plays around a lot like, oh, you like dudes, dude, like you like muscular women. And, I do like muscular women, like there's a certain extent to how the muscular women that I like DLB's right up my alley. Love her. If she wasn't married to, Rob Bailey, that bastard, I'd marry her, you know what I mean? But it honestly has nothing to do with the fact that they have muscle mass, to me. And it has everything to do with their mindset when they put so much work into getting that mass. Because as a woman, what makes men and women different is testosterone and estrogen. The only reason men are men is because we have testosterone, and the only reason women are women is because they have estrogen. And those key points, knowing that you need testosterone to gain muscle mass. Just because we're guys doesn't mean we don't have a little bit of estrogen in us. We do. And just like women have a lot of estrogen, they have a little bit of testosterone in them. But you need testosterone to build mass. And because women have so little, it's very hard for them to gain mass. So when you see women like Dana Lynn Bailey or, Sue Lasmar or any other, physique bodybuilding women or just straight up diesel bodybuilding women, even if some of them look kind of overwhelming, you gotta respect them because it's hard. It's hard for a guy to gain mass, but take the ratio of how hard it is for a guy to gain mass, multiply that by about 12, and that's how hard it is for a woman to gain mass. So when you really look at it and you really understand the mechanics of being a woman and being a man, even if you don't think they look attractive because they have all that muscle, you gotta respect them. And for me, I love a muscular woman. I don't like a woman, obviously, like if she's like 3 times bigger than me, you know what I mean? That's a little weird, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's not the fact that they have the muscle. It's the fact that the muscle is a product of the work that they put in. And that's what I find attractive. The mentality. It's the drive that you have to have, the what's the word I'm looking for? It's the attention to detail that you have to pay. And for women, you have to pay a lot more attention to it. You have to eat, your meals have to be on point, and so does your lifting. You have to know what you want to get it, just because it's damn near impossible with steroids for a woman to gain mass, let alone doing it clean. And a lot of women like DLB, she's clean. A lot of people say like, oh, she does steroids because she's just really lean. That's just what it is. She's only 135 pounds. She's 5'5", she's 135 pounds. She's just really lean. She's not very big. You standing next to her, I'm taller than she is. We're about the same. I'm not gonna compare our physiques because she's a woman and I'm a guy, but I don't know. It's just one of those things where, for me, what I'm looking for in like a partner, I want a swole mate. I don't want just, obviously I want someone that's there for me, but at the end of the day, my life is fitness and healthy living. That is everything. And for me, I don't think I sound superficial when I say I don't date girls that don't lift, because I've put blood, sweat, and tears into the way that I look. And when I say blood, sweat, and tears, I literally mean blood, sweat, and tears. Blood, when I was practicing martial arts with my friend, my teacher, my Sifu master, Rob Pace, there are some days, well, that was pretty much every day, actually. It was pretty much every day for like 3 years. I would do my forms for an hour, and then I'd go upstairs. When I was at LA Fitness, I would go upstairs to the bag, and I usually didn't have money to buy gloves. I had gloves, every once in a while, but I just didn't have the money. I didn't have a job. I would go upstairs, and I'd hit the bag with just my hands. You know what I mean? You could still see some of the welts that, used to, they used to be open. Some of them used to be open all the way up to the bone, but I'd go up there, and I hit the bag for an hour. Just raw hands. And I remember there are days where I came home and I would walk home, and on rare occasions, very rare occasions, my mom would pick me up. Like, they were so rare, it's almost not even worth mentioning. But like, I would come home, and when I hit the bag, there'd be blood on the bag, and there'd be blood on my hands, and I just wipe the blood off on my shirt, and I would just keep going and keep hitting the bag. Well, I remember this one day, I had to walk home that day. And I walked 2 miles to my house after like a 4 or 5 hour lift, and I didn't even go inside. I just went up to this hill, and I sat on a picnic table, and I just sat there, and I stared at my hands. They hurt so bad, I couldn't even close them. Like, there was, the shirt that I was wearing, there was so much blood on it. Like, for me just wiping the blood off of my knuckles, like, there was so much, and that was kind of like a daily basis thing for me. I remember this one day, my mom took me home, and I had the shirt that I was wearing when I was hitting the bag in my hand, and she looked back, and she's like, "Where did all that blood come from? Like, did you get hurt?" And I'm like, "No, that's just from the bag." And at one point, my mom was checking my hands like every day to make sure I wasn't hitting that bag to the point where the red meat was showing on my hands. You know what I mean? And that's where the blood came from. You know what I mean? And tears? Oh my God, there were so many nights. That I stayed up stressing and just losing it because I wasn't progressing. And I didn't like myself. When I was in the gym, yeah, I felt good. People complimented me, and I got a lot of work done, and I would lift hard, but it would just be like I wasn't gaining any weight. And I didn't know anything about nutrition back then, so I didn't know it was because I wasn't eating. But I'd stay up days, you know what I mean? Like, there are actually a couple times where I just broke down in the middle of my workout and just lost it. I think that happened like 4 times, and that wasn't a long time ago. That was like a year ago, you know what I mean? That was a couple months ago, you know what I mean? And it's just, I literally put blood, sweat, and tears into the way that I look. If I dated, or hell, even married a girl that just didn't feel the same way about something that I have put so much effort into, and something that I believe in so much to the point that I'd be willing to die over it, you don't deserve to be with me. We don't need to be together. You know what I mean? I'm not holding it against you that, you don't see lifting as, that important, but the fact that, theoretically, if we were to date, that would be a problem for me, because I've been through so much, and working out and fitness just in general has gotten me through so much. Granted, it's put me through a lot, but that was because of me and my, I hadn't learned enough yet. But I put a lot of work into myself, and I can't see myself being with someone that doesn't take that amount, that doesn't put that amount of effort into their selves. And if that makes me single for a long period of time, I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with being patient and finding a person that's right for me. But I just don't see myself spending my life with someone that isn't at least a novice in fitness. That doesn't at least, I'm tired of feeling like it is too much to ask for a significant other to work out with me, or hell, alone, 3 times a week, 30 minutes. I don't think that's a lot to ask. and the fact that I do feel like it's a lot to ask for a lot of the women that I talk to, and like, you know, currently talking to, it's a little maddening because, and it's a little aggravating because I feel that it shouldn't be. I feel like you should just want to do it. I shouldn't have to make you. I shouldn't have to ask you. You should just want to take care of yourself. And I don't understand why people don't feel that way. And I don't know. That was just kind of what was on my mind. This video is getting kind of long like they usually do, but I don't know. That's something that I had to get off my mind because it was just really bothering me, and I just can't do it. And that's a deal breaker to me. I cannot do it. I can't. And it's unfortunate because there are some people, I'm not gonna say, you know, who I want to share my life with, but it's just that one thing that I don't feel is getting across to them. And that's really what's, you know, taking me to a point where I have to make a choice, you know what I mean? And it's kind of gonna be a hard choice because it's not one that I want to make, but it's one that if things don't change, I'm gonna have to make, because I refuse to settle, to feel like I am settling. So that's really just on my mind. It's kind of just a rant. I'm just getting things off my mind, and you know, and I mean, if you got any comments on that, you know, comment, like, whatever. That's all I got.